baby section video. Get the Jxmyhighroller banger, the most unguardable player in the NBA.
Just a couple years ago, that there would be a player who in one postseason would eliminate LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and Jimmy Butler, averaged a 30-point triple-double while taking a franchise to their first NBA Finals and breaking multiple records in the process. Would you even believe me? That sounds like one of the greatest runs in NBA history.
Yeah.
And that's because it is.
Yeah. Can't knock it.
Today's video is sponsored by
Shout out to DraftKings, man.
Instant fight.
It's another addicted gambler starting every single day.
And only at offensive brilliance, LeBron James.
Some hitting the big time.
In terms of offensive brilliance, LeBron James set the gold standard for what is possible in the postseason, piling up an offensive box plus minus of 12.8 back in 2009. This record has yet to be broken, and it may never be, because the next closest playoff run in terms of offense was Michael Jordan in 1991, Michael Jordan again in 1990, and then LeBron James again, and then Michael Jordan again, and then our friend Nikola Jokic.
Damn.
And then more Michael and LeBron. You won't even find another name on this chart until we get down to the 11th best offensive postseason in NBA history with Stephen Curry in 2017. But Michael, LeBron, and Steph are possibly the three greatest offensive players of all time. So what does that make Nikola Jokic? Well, among the career playoff leaders in offensive box plus minus, you'll find the greatest offensive weapons the game has ever seen. Magic Johnson, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, and Michael Jordan. So far this postseason, Jokic has managed to accomplish something that was previously thought to be impossible. Lead the playoffs in points, rebounds, and assists. A feat that has never been done before. But somehow this accumulation of stats...
Bro, how is Jimmy Butler up that high? This guy's been absolutely nothing short of dog water. That he's still riding on that Buck series. Lord have mercy, bro.
Is not that surprising.
Come on,
the man is getting triple-doubles like they grow on trees. I've seen the name Nikola Jokic next to the words triple-double so much this season, I almost forgot they were really hard to achieve. In fact, Nikola Jokic now has 10 triple-doubles this postseason alone.
So if they're so valuable, give my man Russell Westbrook some credit.
NBA players have ever achieved in their entire career. Now, a big burling center like Nikola Jokic is supposed to be really good around the rim. Among players with at least 1,000 career playoff shot attempts, Jokic ranks second all-time in effective field goal percentage. As impressive as it, but you know what I didn't expect? Among players with at least 1,000 career playoff shot attempts, Jokic also ranks second in three-point percentage. Now, before you go and pick your jaw up off
Wait
a
second. First off, Dwight Howard being top of this list is absolutely insane. 59% is crazy. Kawhi Leonard being up there is kind of crazy too. Because you could say most of it's layups, putbacks, dumps, oops, shots around the rim. But for Kawhi, that's crazy. Where's LeBron? LeBron's 53. That's not bad. You got Jaylen Brown in there. Steph Curry. You're not going to find Jason Tatum. I tell you that. I tell you that much. You're not going to find him up here. 3-point percentage, Hornacek, 43, Yoke, 41. Where's Curry? Curry's at 39. Clay's up there pretty high. So is Kawhi. Kawhi really is a playoff performer till he brought his till he went to the Clippers, and then he decided he doesn't really care that much about playing basketball. He doesn't really care that much.
Also tell you that among high-volume playoff shooters, there are only
make sure to subscribe button. Never remember to not subscribe. Appreciate the subscribe button.
Career splits of 50-40-80. Kawhi Leonard and Nikola Jokic. Jokic is really good at everything. So how do you stop him?
50-40-80.
Well, what would most players do in this situation? Jokic is sandwiched between a double team, but he's got a few options.
Look at the pass.
Does he A, lob it up for Jeff Green, who's got a man sealed off? B, swing it to Jamal Murray at the top of the key? Or C, float it above Bam and attempt to knock down an 8-footer?
Jokic, the feed.
Bro, everyone on the planet Earth is passing it to Braun if you could see over Bam. There's no one on Brown.
and attempt to knock down an 8-footer.
Do not try to act like this is like insane like knowledge.
He
like
does none of those things, and instead slips a pass to a cutting Christian.
Why on planet Earth would Jokic ever pass it to Jamal Murray when you want to get a shot closest to the basket as possible? Why is he throwing it out here?
Brown for an easy dunk. One of the best ways to describe Jokic's game is
the glazing
that
at
he
its
makes
finest.
it difficult for his teammates to even make a bad play. If you're open, he'll find you. Like this play right here. Jokic gets the mismatch on Butler in the high post. Kyle Lowry sees this, and so he signals Highsmith to double him. Now, right away, you can see Highsmith doesn't want to commit to the double. He knows it's a bad idea, because even with his man on the other side of the court, he knows Jokic can just easily do this. But in some cases, the Heat choose not to double. And since there's no one in the NBA who can guard Jokic one-on-one, this turns into about the easiest 2 points you'll see in the finals. In terms of offensive value,
you gotta double every single time. These shooters can't shoot. It's like it's a crapshoot at the end of the
thing
day.
we have trouble measuring is a player's gravity. When a player becomes a perpetual threat on offense, they leave the defense with no choice but to pick their own poison. All the great players have this effect to some extent, but the gravity Nikola Jokic imposes on the opposing defense is like some sort of black hole, pulling everything within his vicinity in against their will.
Dang.
On this play, Murray uses the pick and finds a rolling Jokic at the center of the defense. Once Jokic gets the ball here, Miami's already failed on this defensive possession.
Or you have
Look
Murray
around the court. Highsmith is the only defender within 8 feet of his man. Miami is so consumed with stopping Jokic at the point of attack that they leave him with 3 open options from which he can choose from. Here's another play from just a few possessions later. It's a different action, but Jokic gets the ball at the center of the defense again. And this time, instead of completely collapsing, the Heat play the passing lane, and Jokic gets a wide open floater. What exactly are they supposed to do in this situation? And this gravity that Jokic imposes on the defense has a reverse effect.
To me, the Miami Heat have to just start guarding him mano-a-mano. You gotta just start playing man. Play man. Don't try to. They're making it too fancy by doing all this stuff where they zone out and then the nearest offenders and all this stuff. No, you play straight up man. You tell Adebayo. You're supposed to be a quote unquote all-star caliber player. The least you could do is not let this man go for 30, 20, and 10. All right. If he goes for 38 and 7, you take that. 30, 20, and 10. It's gonna get your butt sent to the G League. You'll be in Taiwan with Dwight Howard in no time. That's what I can guarantee you. Bam, let this man go for 20, 30, 20, and 10.
Negative
and
side
to close
effects
out Game 5, he'll be in Taiwan.
Even if the player getting the majority of the shots is the best option, it completely disincentivizes his teammates from moving without the ball. And now, since they're less willing to run around and make cuts for what feels like no reason, these teammates end up standing around even more, leading to them being open even less, leading to an ISO-heavy player passing even less, and it just snowballs until your offense is completely stagnant. But when Jokic has the ball, his teammates are engaged, knowing that if they get open, he will find them.
What? Are we just explaining good team? A good team? A good team? That's what we're explaining? If you're the head coach of a team and you have players who are making millions of dollars and you're making millions of dollars as a coach, and you can't find a way to coach these guys to tell them just to run around, I don't care if you get the ball or not, you have issues.
Like this play right here. Jokic sets a screen for Murray and
you
steals
deserve to be
Butler up.
coaching middle school basketball.
Looks to feed Jokic the ball, but look in the corner.
They deserve to be playing in Taiwan.
Is already cutting to the basket, and Jokic doesn't even have the ball yet. Porter instinctively knows that if he gets open, Jokic is going to find him. Now, these are basic motions.
No, they all cut. It's the offense. The glazing is for real.
Depending on the set. But how many players
Jxmyhighroller is doing tricks on it right now, bro.
To the layup. But Jokic's gravity only works if he is a threat to score the ball. Unfortunately for the Heat, he's really good at that too. Have you ever seen a player get a reluctant 41 points? It's not fancy, it's not loud, half the time it doesn't even look good, and yet no one has found a way to stop it. Everyone knows just how incredible Jokic is at creating offense with his passing, but I don't think the magnitude of this skill set is emphasized enough. Shaquille O'Neal holds the title as the most dominant player of all time. He couldn't hit a free throw, he wasn't the type to survey the floor for open teammates, but none of that mattered because there wasn't a soul on earth that could guard him. But what if Shaq could knock down his free throws? What if he was one of the greatest playmakers of all time? What if he could hit threes? He'd probably have been the greatest player to ever touch a basketball, right? Well, in the 2000 playoffs, Shaq had the greatest postseason run of his career, averaging nearly 31 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 assists on 57% shooting. This was his masterpiece. Now take a look at Jokic's numbers from this postseason. Shaq was one of a kind because he was so unstoppable that he didn't need any variance in his game. But right now, Nikola Jokic is dominating the game like a prime Shaquille O'Neal while shooting 47% from 3, while hitting 80% of his free throws, while orchestrating the offense nearly every single possession. Jokic is becoming one of the most lethal offensive weapons the game has ever seen. And he's doing it in a way that only he could. Among the greatest offensive players of all time, here's a chart of their best playoff runs in terms of points generated. That's points a player created through both scoring and assists. 30 is the threshold here, but most all-time greats surpass that total. KG, Barkley, and Carmelo all had playoff runs where they generated about 35 points a game. Dwayne Wade is the first player on this list to crack 40 points generated per game in a playoff run. Giannis, Kareem, and Steph all had runs averaging about 42 points generated per game. Keep climbing and you'll find the 9 players who surpassed the coveted 45 mark, and only 6 of them did it in the modern NBA. Allen Iverson's best playoff run that came in 2001, Luka in 2022, Jordan in 1990, Magic in 1986, LeBron in 2018, and Nikola Jokic this season, creating more offense
not my king. Not my king, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, do something, please. I'm begging.
Any player in any season ever.
Jimmy Butler, do something now. If you've never done anything for your life or anyone else, do it right now. I need you. You cannot let this man right here destroy my king. Let king. Anyways, when you like, subscribe, and comment on your next. Doses.